The Impero Education Pro console is broken down into three key areas. The ribbon bar across the top with various tabs containing functionality relating to devices or users. The window on the left-hand side, which contains the grouping structure for both users and devices. And on the right-hand side, we have the device view itself. The ribbon bar at the top is completely customizable, and you can expose or hide features depending on who the user is. Equally, on the left-hand side, the grouping structure is totally permissions-based. Staff can only see the devices and users that relate to their cohorts or to their year group, and they are not able to see their colleagues' devices or the devices of students who are not in their charge. Within the device view, there are three different layout options. You can choose to have a computer list view. This enables you to drill down into specific devices, looking at the active windows and browser tabs that are running on the device and the recent history of the device, including the websites that have been visited, applications that have been run, and windows that have been created. From a safeguarding perspective, you can also see captures relating to that device or to that user. Alternatively, you can choose the live thumbnail view, enabling you to view the screens of a range of device platforms. Here, we can see a Microsoft Windows device, a Mac OS X device, an Apple iOS device, and a Google Chrome device. The final view you can select is the room layout. This gives staff the flexibility to move devices around to reflect the teaching space they are in at that moment. You can also import an image of the room and overlay the devices onto that image. This is a really powerful tool when trying to put a face to a name or a face to a device. Education Pro provides staff with a range of tools to support the teaching and learning environment and the delivery of inspiring lessons. This is centered on four key areas: focusing learning, saving time, improving communication, and addressing online behavior in real time. Focusing learning involves keeping students on task, maintaining their attention in the classroom, and minimizing distractions. The ability to lock a student's screen ensures that staff have the undivided attention of their students. This is useful when, for example, teachers are outlining the lesson's objectives or when they need to bring students back on task. Functionality enables you to lock a user's screen by simply selecting each screen individually or as a group. By selecting the Lock Screen icon, the screens of ticked users will be locked either indefinitely or for a specific period of time, as defined by the user. You can now see that the end user and computer has been blocked by an Impero policy, as stated on the user's screen. To remove the block, simply click on Unlock Screen on the ribbon bar and select Unlock Ticked Users. The device is then unblocked and users can resume using it. Broadcasting the teacher's screen or a student's screen to an individual or to the whole group can save staff invaluable time. Staff can use this to share resources, demonstrate a task, or showcase exemplary work, giving teachers the tools they need to deliver inspiring lessons and to engage their learners. In this example, the device which we want to broadcast to is already ticked, and we will broadcast My Screen to that device. Teachers have the option to broadcast the whole screen or a portion of the screen, as well as using the inbuilt annotation tools over the broadcast. If we click on Begin, you will see that My Screen is now being broadcast onto this Windows 10 PC. To stop the broadcast, click on End Broadcast and select Yes. To save teachers even more time, they can run a specific website for all users in a particular room or group. To do this, select the Action tab and click on Run Website/File. Select the Website tab, type in the website you want to send the users to and which browser you want them to use, and then click Launch. This will launch the Chrome browser and take the user to the website we have defined. The Allow list restricts all websites except those in the Allow list. So in addition to the school's web filter, staff can apply a device or use filter on top, removing the temptation for students to deviate from the lesson's objectives. To demonstrate this, we can select all of the users currently on these devices, click on the Allow list and type in the web address we want users to have access to. This can be a specific URL or an entire domain. Click Add to add that to your list and then select OK. We can now demonstrate what will happen if a user tries to access a website other than the one on the Allow list. If we launch the user's Google Chrome browser and try to access YouTube, you can see that access is denied. If we now attempt to access the BBC website, which is on our Allow list, the user can do this successfully. Education Pro can also help you save time in a number of ways, automating numerous classroom activities such as assigning tasks, marking exams, sending URLs to multiple devices, and logging students on or off devices. All of these tools are designed to get students on task as quickly as possible. One of the ways you can save time involves the ability to create dynamic or static pin groups for students to join. This is useful, for example, when students are working outside of the traditional class sets in project-based learning or in mixed ability groups. It's particularly useful when we have one-to-one initiatives for iOS or Chromebook devices where they are not grouped together in the traditional sense. To create a pin group, you need to select the Add Pin Group option and give the group a name. You can see that a session pin code has been randomly generated by the system, and you can now activate the session. If we click on our newly created pin group, you can see that currently there are no students within the group. In this example, to show how a student would log into a pin group, we are remote controlling a Mac device by clicking on the Control option. Now we can join the pin group by clicking on the Join Pin Group button. Simply enter the pin code you were given earlier and submit the join request. If we now go back to the pin group named Egypt, you can see that the Mac device is now a member of the pin group. Another time-consuming distraction occurs when a student forgets their password and has to request for it to be changed by the IT team. To avoid this, Education Pro empowers teachers to quickly and easily reset user passwords directly from within the Teacher Console. To do this, select the Admin tab followed by the Change Password option. Enter the user, in this instance we will use our demo user, and create and confirm a temporary password for them. You can then select to prompt that user so that they must change their password the next time they log in. When using iOS devices, schools face a challenge in identifying which user is using a specific device, especially as users aren't automatically prompted to enter a username. Education Pro has the option to prompt a student to enter either their domain credentials or a username to help identify who is using which device. Starting with our live thumbnail view, we can see that there is an iOS device here. If you click on the Action tab and select Log on iOS device, you will be given a couple of options. You can ask users to log on using their domain credentials, or you can ask them to enter their name. Alternatively, you can set the device username yourself by writing in this box here. And you are also given the option to log the device off automatically at the end of the period. To demonstrate this, we will now select the device. I know this is an iOS device because I can see the iOS logo here. We can also see the name of the device, but not which user is logged on at the moment. Click Log on iOS device and select the options of your choosing. For this example, we will ask the user to enter their name, and we are going to allow the user to log themselves off when they are finished, rather than selecting to log them off automatically. By selecting OK, you can now see that the user is being prompted to input their first and last name. After entering these details, the user is logged on and their credentials have changed, allowing us to see which device is being used and which user is logged onto that device. Impero's classroom management tools help schools to improve communication in a number of ways. Firstly, it enables staff to send messages to individual users or to a group of users. This is useful, for example, if you see that a student is distracted in a lesson or appears to be struggling with a task at hand, and you want to send them a discrete message on their device without disrupting the lesson. To do this, you need to highlight the screen of the student in question Select the Send Message option, type in your message and send the message directly to that student. You can see here that the student has received the message, but there is no way of them responding. If you would rather have a two-way conversation with a student, you can open a dialogue with them through our live chat forum. You can also use the live chat forum to create a group chat, facilitating group work between students. This also ensures that users are working collaboratively in a safe environment with all of the safeguarding functionality and keyword policies that are inherent in Education Pro. To create a group chat, select the users you want to include, name the conversation topic, and select OK. Another invaluable tool available to staff is the Quick Question tool, which helps staff to measure the success criteria of the lesson, ensure the lesson plan was followed, or check that students understood what was being asked of them. To use this tool, click on the Send Question tab and type in your question. For this example, we will ask how much of the lesson objective do the students believe they have achieved. You can request a yes or no answer, a written answer, or, as in this example, you can give the user multiple choice answers to select from. Clicking on Send will result in every user receiving the question. When a user responds to the question, the results are then immediately displayed in your Quick Question window. Last but certainly not least are our online safety tools, including one of the world's most comprehensive keyword libraries. Education Pro empowers staff to help identify young people who are at risk from their online behaviour, enabling them to address this behaviour quickly and easily in real time. In line with the expectations of school inspectorates such as Ofsted and ISI, we ensure that teaching staff can play their essential part in delivering a truly managed approach to online safety. Education Pro includes a comprehensive keyword library of over 4,000 terms, helping you to provide a safe learning environment to users of digital devices and ensuring that staff can fulfill their duty of care in relation to online safety. When there is a keyword detected anywhere on the network, a CAPTCHA is created. Education Pro alerts staff members to CAPTCHAs in several ways, including via a pop-up window which appears on their desktop or in a number of ways through the console itself. You can see here that we have 5 devices on our screen, and one of those devices has a red bar at the top. This red bar indicates that this particular user has had a CAPTCHA identified against a specific keyword or phrase. If we go to our Computer List view, once again we can see that the CAPTCHA has been identified and is highlighted in red. We can also see that this particular user has had 5 CAPTCHAs during the current session. By drilling down into that and selecting the CAPTCHAs option, we can see more specific detail about the CAPTCHAs. This includes a list of the CAPTCHAs that have occurred, a notification of their severity, and whether or not a screenshot and video has been taken. We can see in this example that a video has been taken for some of the more severe keyword CAPTCHAs. We can also see the trigger for this CAPTCHA, which in this case involves the words cotton wool method. We can see the type of CAPTCHA, which in this case is a written word CAPTCHA, and we are also given a description which explains why this keyword is of concern. In this case, the cotton wool method is linked to an extreme dieting technique involving eating cotton wool to suppress hunger. In isolation and without context, the words cotton wool method may seem innocuous. But if a staff member has noticed a student becoming withdrawn or experiencing dramatic weight loss, this could be the missing piece of the puzzle, which leads to the student receiving the help that they need. Education Pro's classroom management functionality provides a range of classroom control, instruction and monitoring tools, empowering teachers to use technology in their lessons with confidence.